Hello, my friends. Amy with Campbell Creations, and today we are using Sam's Bead Box November 2025 Country Cottage, and we are going to make 4 necklaces 4 ways from that one box, right? So I've just been designing and designing and designing, and I had so many different ideas, and so once again I was like, I'm not choosing, we're gonna get them done, and so we're gonna do them all. And actually, to be honest, this was going to be 3 necklaces 3 ways from one box. And then last night happened, and I played a little more and had to add a 4th necklace. So here we go, we're gonna jump right into it. So the first necklace that we're gonna be doing today is stringing. Okay, and with stringing, what I'm using today for this string is the garnet color in Soft Flex medium. So I had gotten, actually I'll say, I had gotten some extras from Sam's Bead Shop. So they had a 3-pack of these. They had this, they had the fluorite color, and then they had the copper color, right, for a really good price on their site that went with this box. And so I got that 3-pack, and then I also got more of these. I couldn't help myself. I could not help myself. I love this mix. I love this box, and I had to have more. So yeah, I have plenty of those beads, plenty of those seed beads, and we're going to be pulling in a lot of them today. Okay, so what you're seeing on my mat is it's going to be a lot of necklace number 1. Okay, necklace number 1 is going to be kind of involved. It's going to be a little more typical to what I love in design, so it's going to be a little middle heavy. It's going to be fun. It's going to be lots of fun, and I have the contents out for the first 3. For the 4th necklace, I'm going to bring that in. I'm going to bring that in at the end. So here's what we're doing. In this first necklace, I'm wanting to pull in these beauties. I just think these are the coolest little 8mm, and I've never seen anything like them, and so gotta pull them in. Super excited about those. We're going to be using this beautiful 6mm radiolated quartz, and these beads are just like cream of the crop. Just love this gemstone, love it. So we're pulling those in. We're pulling these. Oh, aren't these, I'm telling you, this jasper is just beautiful, absolutely beautiful. So we're pulling in 2 of those today, and the way these are drilled is top to bottom, and it comes from one of the rounded edges down into one of the little crevices. Okay, and then we're going to be pulling in this moss agate, as well as some more of this red jasper. So we're going to be pulling those rondelles in. We're going to be pulling lots of metals in with it, and I'm super excited about what this process is going to be and what it's going to be looking like. And then, we're pulling in the fox. Is that not just adorable? I just think that's adorable. Absolutely adorable. This is going to be our focal. This with these guys. Love it. Love it. So let's go ahead and start there. So I guess before I start with the stringing, let's go ahead and do a little bit that's going to go with this focal. So what I'm looking at for this beauty is I'm wanting a little bit of chain to come up. Okay, and that's going to be connected to that focal part of the necklace. And so I did cut a couple pieces of chain. Okay, so I have this very kind of dainty oval flat cable chain that I pulled in here. And so I have 2 pieces that are the same length, and so we're going to pull those in like so. And then I had done some jump rings with the seed beads, so I was really excited about these. So I did a few of them, and so I took some of my, nope, not ready for you yet. I took some of my 4mm gold jump rings, and I just put one of each of those primary colors on there. And so we're going to be pulling in some of those. I think that's going to be part of our connection. And then I'm probably going to pull in a couple of these too. So we're going to be mixing metal today, and the mixed metal is going to stay the same throughout all of the pieces. And it's going to be that antique copper and gold. Fun. So let's go ahead and get started on this. So I'm going to have one that's connected here. I want to connect these guys together, and I think I'm going to have them be connected together down at the bottom with one of these jump rings. So let's go ahead and get that connection going. I just had so much fun. I just had so much fun. I was just going through and I was just playing, and it's a result of my playing that, you know, created these pieces, and that's so much fun for me. You know, I can definitely create as well whenever I sit down and I'm like, here's what I want to do, here's what I need to do, but whenever I'm just playing and it happens, that is happiness. Happiness. It is so, so good. So I'm connecting those two pieces of chain with one of these jump rings. So it's going to look super cute. Just kind of hanging down there like that, right? And then I think I want to do, I'm going to have just a regular jump ring probably coming down to make this connection here. But I wanted all three of these colors here, so I think I want one color popped up there on top. I think that would be cute. Let's do that. Let's do that. Let's do maybe a yellow. Okay, and so all I did was I opened these jump rings and I just fed on a little bit of seed bead action. So I should have a couple. Yeah, I can lift a couple out just for extras, just for in case. And I'm glad I did, because this is in case. I might need to open that a little bit more though. Oh, whale. You know, there's that. Okay, that's okay. So let's pop on, just because there's just that one left. Yeah, we'll do it like that, right? So let's first take that off. Let's put our chain back on, because I want it to be in the middle. Pop him back on. Just like so. Hold on to that and put this chain on the other side. We're gonna be snug, but I think I should be able to do it. You think I can do it? Yeah, let me first start it. There we go. Pretty good, I'd say. Oh yeah, see? So there's just that little popped up there. That's cute. That's cute. Okay, I like that. I like that. That feels a lot better. So I'm not going to obviously connect it directly, right? Because that is pretty full. So I'm going to grab another one. And let me see. Actually, I think I'll just do a regular one to make that connection between these two. You know, especially because there's going to be the center bead. And, ooh, what I could do. No. But here's what I'm thinking. Now I'm like, ooh, what about this? What about this? See, I'm still playing. There's so much pop and there's so much spark that's happening with me with this box. There's just a lot going on. So I'm thinking now, let me open it up a little bit more. How cool would it look if this here wasn't connected, right? That's not what I'm going to use for that connection. But what if it just stayed there like that, right? And just kind of hung down on her like a little crown or a little headpiece. I think that's cute. That's cute. Okay. Yeah, we're doing that. Okay. And then I'm going to take this 3mm jump ring. And I think it should be big enough. We'll see. If not, I can pull in a 4mm. Can definitely do that. Okay. Yeah, I think it'll work, right? And then I can go on either side of this. Okay. I don't think it's going to be super like noticeable that there's, you know, not just one in the center. I think it'll be just fine. Yeah, that works out all right. Okay, so now let's take a peek. So cute. And then this just hanging down on her. Oh, that is so cute. Looky, looky. Cute. Okay, let's do that. Let's do that. Now let's get to it. Let's get in here. So this is going to be part of course, that focal. Okay. And I think in between these two, I'm going to pull in, I'd like to pull in one of these. I think that would look really cool in between. And when I'm using this, I want to pull in these. I think these are just so much fun. I got these from Fire Mountain Gems, and I'll link them below. But aren't those just so fun? Just so different. That little star that's on there. And the other bead caps that I'm using that is that antique copper is also like little stars, the little bumpy stars. And they're kind of raised up a little bit. And so I thought they would go together really well. So that's what we're going to be doing there. So yeah, let's do that. Let's come through here. And what I will do first is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to, as I always do, I'm just going to kind of pull this down to where I know what way it wants to go, what way that chain wants to go, right? And then from here, let's bring those in, but ooh, what if, let's bead cap that. Let's do that mixed metal. So let's come in here with a 3mm gold bead cap. Let's pop this guy on. And let's bring in another one. I'm going to be stacking today, and it's going to be fun, 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 fun. So let's do a 4mm gold on that inside, right up against this. And this is how it started, is I wanted to stack with this rugulated quartz because of that gold that pops through there. You know, that gold that pops through there is so nice. So I thought, oh, that would be beautiful, beautiful. Okay, so we'll do another bead cap going here. Put another one of these on, and then we will put the end here, and I'm again just kind of pulling her down, seeing which way we want to go. That's beautiful. Just beautiful. See how that kind of hangs down? That's so cute. Super cute. She says, I want to turn. Okay, so that's going to be the dangle for our focal. Cute. Now, on each side of this, I do want something to kind of butt up against that, just to kind of make it stay where I want it to go. And I think for that, I'm going to bring in some crimp tubes. So these are little #1 gold crimp tubes. So I'm going to put one of those on each side. It just kind of is going to hold that in place. See how it does that? See how it just pops that in there? So it can't go over it, but it just kind of keeps it where I need it to be. So we'll do that here on the other side. And then once we get this little focal part done, then I'll bead up one side. Okay. Now, from here, okay, I want to pull in these guys. Love them. And what works out perfectly is because I have this little stopper here, which is the crimp tube, it's going to work out really well if I have the connection here being this part, because that crimp tube's going to just kind of shimmy up in there. So if I do that, if I come in here with this guy, see how that happens? Then I can even push it a little bit just to make sure he kind of stays up in there. See how that goes? Yeah, that'll be good. So I'll do the same on the other. Come right up through that side. And there is our focal. Just super cute. I think that gold and copper just complement each other so well. And I love it as well because this copper in the focal and this little fox is that, it's that bright, so it has that pop that comes through it, and that's just happiness. Happiness, happiness. So let's come down here, and I will go ahead and put a little bead cap on that one side just to make it look a little polished or finished. you know, right there on that side. And then I'm going to bead bug this. So let's get our center or about center. And this wire, this wire I cut to 22 inches. So we're at 22. We may not use it all, but I wanted it to be an option. You know, if I wanted to go all the way up, I could go all the way up. And so that's what I'm going to be doing. I'm going to bead bug this right about to keep it center, you know. There we go. And then we will work up this one side. So I need to bead cap him. And then we can start out our series. So I'm wanting to pull in these guys, okay, with the rugulated quartz in between. And then I think we're going to do just a little bit of color blocking when it comes to those rondelles. All right, so I did say it was going to be kind of metal heavy, and it is going to be kind of metal heavy, you know, because the majority of all of this is going to be in this one first necklace. Yeah. It's going to be cool though. Yeah, it's going to be cool. Let's do it. So I'm going to come in here and I'm going to do another bead cap right after this going away. And this bead cap is going to nuzzle up against this bead cap. I love these. Are those not just awesome? And this 4mm little gold bead cap fits it perfectly. I mean, it just fits that little lip just so. It's just nice. And on the inside of that, I'm pulling in these textured bead caps. So I'm really liking these textured bead caps. I get them in all the different metal tones. I've been utilizing them. You guys have seen in my videos. I can't help myself. I love them. And so I'll have them linked below. So I'm going to pop on one of those gold. So that gold is just going to pop through there, right? It's going to look so good. And it's going to look excellent up against this bead. Right? You see how that just kind of barely flexed through there? Gorgeous. Gorgeous. I am so into that look. I know, you guys are like, of course you are, Amy. That's what we've been seeing. Okay, so I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. So I'm going to pop one of these on. I'm going to pop one of these guys on. And then I'm going to end it with my 4mm gold little tip. And I just think it's amazing. I love doing that in the little pops it gives. You know, it's not, to me it's not overwhelming. You know, I think it's just, you know, that extra pop, and it's just absolutely adorable. All right, so from here, I do want to have a little bit of spacing before I put in our quartz in the center. And so actually I'm going to try a couple things. So I have some copper, some little, these are also 3mm, right? These are 3mm, and then my antique bronze is also 3mm. But because this is a thicker gauge, I don't know which one I'm wanting to go with. Of course, copper matches to perfection, but I don't know if I want it to be that poppy. So that's one thing I didn't know yet. So I'm going to try it out. Okay, so I'm going to put on, first let me put on one of the copper. So it's going to give more so of a pop. And see how that, pardon me, see how that copper just kind of sets over the gold. But whenever I'm putting on this bead cap, because I want to do a 3mm, and this is the antique bronze, right? But I don't have copper this small, and I didn't want to have that big of a pop right here. See, that might be good. That might be so good. Let's see. Let's see. Let's see. Let me put it on real quick and then I'll see. Yeah, I like it. I like it. So you see how it just gives that little bit of spacing there between that gold. That's fun. That's fun. And in this little part, I'm going to have that antique bronze going up against that yellow, right? Because I don't want to take away from the yellow that's in this by putting gold right on it. That's my thought anyways. So let's go ahead and bead cap the other side of that. And then I'll pop on that copper jump ring. which is also a new fave, is using my jump rings as spacers. It's just so fun. It's so good. It gives exactly what I'm looking for, and I just am thrilled. Okay, so we're just going to do this guy again. So I'm going to do that 4mm, followed by that copper, followed by that textured, beautiful gold, and then right back on the other side. Then I hear Ross at the front door scratching. He won't stop. So let me put this on and let me go let him in. I should have done that before I started, but I didn't think about it. All right, one sec. All right, so he's good. Okay, so this is the start of our series here. It's gonna be so cool looking, I think. So cool looking. Okay, so in between this and the next one, I'm gonna do just a little spacer series, just a little kind of sequence, I guess you could say. And I'm gonna start that out with a 4mm bead cap facing away. Okay, so we've got 2 back to back. And I'm pulling in these dotted squares. And I love these. I get these at Hobby Lobby. And they are just so good, so good. And I want one of our little gold daisy spacers in the middle of 2 of them. So the look that it's going to give is just so much fun, I think. Okay, so this little spacer here. Right? I really like that. Like really. Okay, and then we're going to go into the rest of our series. So I'm wanting to block some colors. So I'm wanting to do green together. I took one of the lighter greens to go in the middle, and then I'll do the red together. Okay, and so after the spacer, I'm gonna pop on these bead caps. Love those. They're just the very simple filigree bead caps, but I really like them. Okay, and we're not doubling up, we're just gonna have one. Okay, so I'm gonna have one of those with the darker of the green. Okay, and I'm gonna go ahead and bead cap both sides of that. And then in the middle, I'm just doing one of our squares all by itself. No bead cap, no nothing on him. Okay, and I'm just gonna go into the other green. And I want the lighter to be in the center. I thought that would give a little bit of dimension, a little depth to it. Yeah, I like it. Bead cap both sides. Pop on one of our little dotted squares, and then right back into that third. So I knew I wanted to use these squares as little spacers, and initially I had them just like in between the series, but then I was like, no, I really like them in between here too, because it gives that dimension, that kind of that difference, that little bit of a pop, you know, with the square versus the rondelle versus the round. And so that's when I was like, you know what, I can do both. I can do both, and I can make it, you know, a little more elaborate here for the in between of those little series. And so yeah, that's what I wanted to do. Okay, so in between here, in between this green, I'm gonna start with another one of these. Okay, so I'm gonna come in here and I'm gonna do a bead cap going away. Okay, and then I'm gonna do the same thing. So I'm gonna pop in here one of these guys, square, gold daisy, square, and then a 4mm bead cap. But in between the green and the red, I'm going to do a little bit more. I'm going to bring in another one of our quartz, and that's when I'm going to bring in the rest of these guys, more of these guys. Okay, so from here, I'm going to come in with my 3mm. I'm going to pop on one of these guys. I'm going to put a little 4mm on the inside of that, because I just want a little bit of that pop, just a little bit. I'm seeing those little flecks go through there, and that's all I'm seeing. So you see when I'm using it in that way, see how it's just barely there, just barely, but you do see a little something something that kind of draws the eye a little extra. That's what I'm looking for. That's what I'm looking for. Not overwhelming, just a little something that maybe makes you want to take a little closer look. Another one on the other side. 3mm bead cap. Nice. And then we're going to come back with 4, going the opposite way. And we're going to do another one of our dotted squares, followed by a 4mm dotted gold and a dotted square. And I'll put that 4mm bead cap on the other side. Oh, hold on. I have a couple that's not the bright gold. These are the more KC gold, rose gold. I got a little bit mixed up in there, didn't I? Yeah, I got 2 of them in there. Stay to the side, buddies. You'll be here for another design, I'm sure. Okay, so you see just, it's like pow, 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 pow. And I love it. Love it. So now we're going to essentially do the same thing we did here, but with our red jasper. So we'll grab 3 of those. Okay, I'm going to come in here with that 4mm to start it out. And then we'll use that textured. Nope, that's not what I want to do. Nope, that's not what I want to do. I'm thinking of these guys. Silly, silly. No, no, no. With these, I just want these that I just moved out of the way. I got started and I'm like, something's not feeling right. Yes, because it's not right. Okay. So with these, it's just that very simple filigree bead cap with a little square in between. No extra spacing, no extra bead caps. Those will stay for these guys and our little center focal things. Then last one. Oh, I'm just loving it. I'm loving how rich the golds are. You know, how rich the golds are and how they make that copper just really pop and stand out, I think. I'm just loving, loving, loving them, and how close together these are versus how spaced out the other things are. Yeah, that's just happy stuff for me. I really, really like that. So from here, we're going into our little spacer series. So we'll go 4mm bead cap, one of our dotted squares, followed by dotted round and another dotted square. Close that out with 4mm bead cap. Now let's do one of these again. So now it's time to pull in the stacking. Okay, so from here, going right into our little 4mm. That inside in there. These swirls are just so much fun. Love those. I love the surprise that those gave in the box. Not expected and just fun. And I just love the curation of this box. I mean, I really, really love the curation of this box. It is so much fun. I think Danielle and Sam and the gang did just beautifully, beautifully for us. Okay, so before we put in our little center part, I'm going to put on one of those 3mm jump rings, okay? And then we are bead capping. So I'm going to put one of our little 3mm bead caps. He isn't closed yet. A lot of them I went ahead and closed, not all of them. I went ahead and did a handful of them though, because I was like, I'm gonna get those ready. And all I do is just go through and pinch them, you know, get them closed. That's all. Okay, so we're gonna come back in here to this other one. So I'm gonna do that 4mm bead cap. Get our copper in there. Pop on our textured gold. And right up that side. Now from here, this is where I was like, what do I want to do? So of course I can go up that other side first and then we can kind of look at it. But actually I think I need to do that because I'm not sure, but I do want a little more, you know. We could do one of these up here at the top, but that typically isn't between, you know, these, but it would definitely give it that difference. It would give it that, you know, elongated area. Do we want to, let's peek at it. Let's just peek at it. Let's do that. Let's just look at it. Okay, so from here, I'm going to go in with my 3mm. Let's pop on one of these. We're doing a 4mm on the inside of that. Okay, and so what I'm thinking is, see how I'm just doing this and not the spacer series? Yeah, let's do that. Let's do that. Okay, so let me come in here with 4mm. Do that dotted, followed by the little daisy. Square dotted. Yeah, I'll go ahead and continue it up. Okay, so let's back that up with a 3mm. And then we'll come in with that quartz in the middle, 4mm. These beads are just so much fun. Why am I struggling to see that hole so much? There he is. Okay, so we'll do that 4 on the other side. Pop this on. That kind of looks cool just ending that way, you know? Let's hang tight on that. Let's leave it here and let me do the other side. Let me do the other side and then we'll see if we want to continue up further. I'll also check the length and see, because that's going to be a big determiner for me, is the length, like where it's hitting on me so far, to decide, you know, are we going up further or are we not? Okay, so let me do this. Let me do the other side just like this, okay? And as soon as I do it just like this, I'll come right back with you, okay? All right. Okay, so I went ahead and just finished that out. So I just did another one of these on top of each, and I think that's where I want to end it because I tried it and this goes just past my collarbone right? And so I think that's going to be good. I think that's going to be good. So let's take a quick peek at what we have here. Then we'll close her up. So starting out with that spacer series. I'm just loving the pops in it. Just loving them. So much fun. So much fun. And then ending with that. Ah! So good. So good. Okay. All right. So let's end this out. I did go ahead and cut some chain. So I cut a little bit of chain that I would need for behind the neck. And then we're going to use just a little bit of a bigger antique copper oversized lobster claw clasp. So let's come in and we will end this with our copper. Okay, so we'll come in here and crimp tubes. Woohoo, that's a lot of crimp tubes going on. I believe we just need two, just two. We'll end this out. Close to the tip there. Real good squeezes. Okay, bring him up. Okay, and then from here, you can kind of slide it all down. Okay, we want to make sure we have movement, so I'm going to wind it up a little bit. And we'll end this side out. Oh, that's a perfect bracelet size. Yeah. I will take that all day. I'm going to open that up just a little bit more. Okay, someone wanted me to do a tug test. It's not sliding. It's not going anywhere. I love my beaded crimps. Okay, so let's trim that off. Yeah, it's a good probably 6 inches. And we'll close this up. Okay. Beautiful, beautiful. Very statement worthy necklace. Just love that. Love that. A little bit of chain up back. Then we'll move on to our other pieces, other designs. As you see, I told you we'd be using most of this, and we sure did. We sure did. So the big bold started at the beginning. Okay, got that out of the way. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and use my little 3mm copper. They'll go really good with that Rolo chain. They'll kind of blend in pretty well. Makes me wish now I would have done earring designs for all of these. Maybe that would open up a fun earring bash option. Let me get my black ones, just keep sliding. Just keep sliding. This guy overall doesn't want to close all the way. He's stuck in his ways. There he goes. Okay. One side. Ooh, and that pop in this, just like down here. So good. It's got a little bit of that brightness to it. Fun, fun. Okay. Let's see if this guy wants to close or if he wants me to do some extra work. Oh, he closed right up. How about that? Okay. Love that. I got a honkin'. That's pretty darn big. Hold on. Yeah, I'm liking this 6-7 millimeter better than the 10-12. Yeah, he's quite large. All right. Okay, here's our front. So I want this to be over here. Yeah, that's plenty big enough. Plenty. And we'll bring one of these in. For our lobster. Nice. Okay, so let's have a quick measure on this. Okay. Whoop. Okay, I'm going to measure from here. Okay, so 6. So almost 12. So we're almost 24, about 23 and a half. 23 and a half. And that's just beautiful. Just beautiful. I love that hanging down. Love that. Love it, love it. All right, so necklace number 1, done. Could have left myself a little bit of room here. You know, just beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful. So necklace number 2, which one? Let's bring in this guy. Let's bring in this guy. I am super excited to use this little owl. Super excited. Okay, and I haven't even cut my wire. Okay, so let's cut some wire because I'm wanting to use him. He's going to be a cute little focal, and then we are going to pull in some Coriana chain. Yep. So much fun. Okay, so what I'm wanting to use, I'm going to use some 24 gauge. And what this is this is actually bronze, but this bright bronze, it just reminds, it really, really does, like, look at it up against the copper bead cap. That bright bronze really is very copper-esque. Okay, so I have this cut to what, about 8-9 inches. Probably not going to need that much. Okay, I just went ahead and cut off a piece. So what I'm wanting to do is I want this guy to sit on top of the button, one of the buttons that came in the box, but I want him to sit like this. I want him to sit like this. He's going to be really cute as a little focal and just so much fun. And what I thought I'd do, so since we have the 2 holes obviously here for the button, what I was thinking is I could pull in some of our little seed beads. We could have just a little hang down something something there with these guys, right? So if I come in here, I'll do a, let's do, my series has been green, gold, red, gold, green. That's been my series, and everything I've been kind of working on and doing, it just, I love it so much. Those colors are just so nice. And so let's see if we can pull in maybe a little more. So let's do the gold again. So as if we started with that green, gold, red. Do I have another gold? I do. Gold, green. Let's see if that maybe isn't too much underneath of him. So let's come in here. Let's put one of those pieces up through each of those holes. Right up through there, little guy. Oh, that hole is There he is. Okay, I'm just gonna pull this up. Yeah, that's cute. Look how little something something down underneath there. That's cute. So up here on top, let's go ahead and cross these. And since this hole is kind of big anyways, he's got a pretty big hole, we may end up stuffing him as well. I have some crimp tubes out that might work pretty well. But let's go ahead, this is a good opportunity to say, hey, let's go ahead and braid this or twist this wire. Okay, now I want to make sure I'm in the center of those two holes when I'm twisting. Okay, I'm going to kind of hold on to this bottom part. Seems like a good little hold on spot. I'm going to twist this up. And I think I'll actually go all the way up with this. That way it gives options for what we can do. Straighten him out a little bit. So go up a little ways. With this 24 gauge wire, whenever you're twisting like this, it is a nice, simple little twist. It's just easy stuff, and I think it'll take up some of that room. I'm fairly certain that should be plenty, but I'm just going. Yeah, that should be plenty. I just had a thought, so hold on. I'll go up a little bit more. Okay, and then we'll measure it and see how much I went up. That should be plenty. So let's measure how much wire we have coming up here. I'm just going to straighten it a little bit. We first trim it off. Okay. And we are at about 2.5. That should do. That should do. Now on the base here, for where he's going to be sitting, let's just go ahead and set him on here. That is adorable. Adorable. Okay, one moment here, one sec. I'm telling you, Ross is becoming something else. The weather started changing this time around, and he is in and out and in and out and in and out and in and out. And when he wants in or he wants out, you know about it. You know about it. So here we go. All right, but is he not so cute? I just love that. I was contemplating if I wanted a bead cap or something setting on here. Let's test it. Let's see. Let me bring in one of my bigger textured bead caps here, and we'll just see. We'll try it this way, and then we'll try it going towards him. Oh, so that's a cute little pop. That's a cute little pop. Let's try it going towards him. Look at it spin. Okay, let's have it coming up towards him. Nope, that's not going to work. See the gap? Okay, so let's use it then. That'll be cute. I really like that going up and down as well. Okay, and even though I don't mind if he spins, he is going to be a focal, right? So I don't want him to spin too easily, because then half the time your necklace is going to look like this. We don't want that. So let's stuff him a little bit. Oh, I like those seed beads on the bottom there. You know, that opens up options too. You could add dangles and have dangles coming underneath, and who knows, maybe we'll do that. But I hadn't thought about that. I just thought this would be cute. So let's get out. And instead of using my good Beadalon crimp tubes, let's come in with some of my extra crimp tubes. Yeah, let's use some of these. Because it doesn't matter what color it is, right? Because it's going to be down inside of him. So let's use some of those extras and not the beadalon. Make sure it goes down in there. Maybe. There it goes. It was two of them stuck together. Make sure they still go down in there. Yeah. Wiggle, wiggle, tap, tap. We'll need a couple more of those for sure. Okay, so we're at 3. I don't know if I have room for 4. Let's see. Yeah, 4 went in there. Do I still have room? Oh my. This one's a little shorter. Grab that one. That took it a little too far. Well, maybe he'll go down in there. Pretty much. Yeah, I don't want him poking out though. Come back out of there. I'll do one of the number 1 crimps. Just fill him however we can. That works. So he still turns, but not like on his own. But I could spin him, right? But then once we get everything else cinched down, hopefully he'll kind of want to stay a little bit more than that. But that's really cute. Okay, so extra crimp tubes. Okay, so on top of him, on top of him, let's do a little daisy spacer. Because that'll be cute. See, it just kind of popped up on there. And then what I was thinking is some bead caps going away. Okay, so let's start with, let's see, do I have one of those? Yeah, I have one of these. Let's start with this. See, almost like a little crown. Isn't that cute? Now let's do, I've brought out one gold. Yeah, so then here's a different gold one. It's a little 5-petal bead cap. See that layering? Oh, that's cute. Cute, cute, cute. Yep, I like it. I like it. Now I don't want them being all wonky on top of him. So let's bring in another one of these crimp tubes. Just so that whenever I go to, oh, there it goes. That way, whenever I go to do this wrap, that crimp tube, it'll help smash down in there, right? That's cute. That's cute. What do you think? What do you think of that being our focal? He's just adorable. Okay, let's do that. Let's do that. Okay, so let's do a wrapped loop on top. And do I want this wrapped loop? I'm thinking because I got out one of, this is a bracelet charm bail. And I was thinking about connecting that to the Coriana chain instead of trying to do this directly to it. So let's go this way, right? Because then it will connect here and it will go on that way because I'll have to connect it with something unless I direct connect it. Let's try it. Well, first let's see. Yeah, that would work. Yeah, okay. So let's bring this in here. And I want this to be tight down on him just so that hopefully he doesn't want to move so much. Okay, so let me make sure, I want to make sure that this is even with what's underneath, right? So let's open this up and see if we can go ahead and direct connect it. Yeah. So if we direct connect it, I'm going to switch this around. this. Originally I was thinking we would bail it, you know, we'd do a jump ring to that bail, but we're going to direct connect it, so it'll be like this. That works. All right, so let's bring in, I like using my bent needle nose for this. Okay, so I'm going to hold on to this so that it doesn't mess up our little wrap, and then let's start wrapping. And I'm going to try to get it down in that little bead cap area. I may have to do a little maneuvering, but I think I should be able to get some of it down in there just to help cinch it, right? So we come around the other side. I think it might look kind of cute too. Okay. Oh yeah, he doesn't want to spin nearly like what he was. Okay, yeah. That works. That works. Okay, and then we can fix him up too. So let's get this trimmed off. Don't need those anymore. Let's come down in here and cinch that good. Keeps wanting to grab the bead cap. There we go. There we go. Okay, so we are wanting it to be like this. All right, so let's make sure this is straight. That is cute. That is cute. Look at that little guy. Fun. So fun. Okay, so let's work with some Coriana chain. I have this Coriana chain cut to 19 inches. Okay, I'm not wanting it to be too awful long. Cool thing about Coriana chain is you can bead right on this, and I love that. I just really love that. So I'm going to bead right on it. You can do floating beads, so we can put like #1 crimps on here and just barely crimp them a little bit to where you could have floating beads up here. I'm not quite sure I was wanting floating beads. I think I just want like a pretty little something down here with him. So let's see though. Let's see. Let's pop him on. So I'm going to put this on here. Just so cute. Just so cute. Yeah, that looks good. That is super adorable. Okay, now, because you see the size there, I think I want something to go in there. That's where I think a good crimp tube would come in. So if I come in here with this copper crimp tube, let's see if it'll fit. Yeah, it'll fit through there. Okay. So with the other beads cinched down in here, that'll hold just nice. And you see then it's coming more so out the center instead of just sticking up there on top. Now you see how it just wants to move in and out. It won't do that once we get it all snugged in. Okay, it'll do that until I get it snugged, but that's okay. That's okay. So what I wanted to pull in with this beauty is I wanted to pull in these gorgeous little glass nuggets. I love these nuggets. And I thought they would just be gorgeous with that bright Coriana chain, right? Oh, they're so pretty. They're so pretty. But what if, it was kind of hitting me, I don't know if these will fit on there. What if one of these or one of the, this is a 3mm, one of the 3mm or 4mm sat on either side of that little bail, right? Just a little pop something there. I think that would be cute. I think that'd be real cute. So let's see. Let's see if it'll fit. If not, I'll try a 4mm. These were not the easiest. These were not the easiest to get 3 seed beads on a 3mm, but you see that I did it. Oh, that works. Yeah. So let's see. So cute. So cute. So let's pop one on the other side here. Love it. Love it. Now, one sec here. Okay, now the other animals are taken care of. So, where were we? Yes, that is super cute. That is super cute sitting on each side of that bale. I really like that. And you see he still wants to turn a little bit. You see me turning him? Yeah, not too much, but he still will turn. Now what I'm wondering is, with these, I wonder, let me try. I'm going to see if a crimp tube will fit up under there. If not, then I'll end up doing one of our, I brought out some 2mm gold spacer beads, just so that there's a little bit of spacing before these. Let's see. Yeah, just a little something something. That crimp tube just kind of sits right there, so it'll give some spacing before we start those little nuggets. Okay, that's what I'll do on the other side too. That way it's not too much, just a little something, and it kind of keeps everybody where they need to be and gives that little bit of spacing. Yeah, that's cute. Cute, cute. Okay, we'll do that. We'll do that. Then I'm going to come in with these guys. Okay, so I'm going to do one of these champagne colored. Okay, just beautiful. And that gold that kind of pops through there, you can kind of see that come through there. So good. So I'm going to do the champagne color, and then I want to bring in some 3mm jump rings, and then I'm going to do a jump ring with red, okay, and then another jump ring with another champagne color, and then another jump ring kind of in between them all. So then some green, and then another jump ring, and one last of the champagne color. Like elegant, cute, not overdone or overstated. Love that. So let's do that same thing on the other side. Do that champagne. Jumping in between each of those. And I especially wanted to pull in extras of the champagne color just because that gold flecks through it so beautifully. So beautifully. Grab a couple more. And we'll do that one last one. And then what I'm going to end up doing is, and actually I'm going to go ahead and do that, I'm going to put one of those little #1 crimps on the end, and we are going to give them just a tiny little smash, just so that center stays center. Okay, so I'm going to marry these two ends, nice and even. And I'm wanting to make sure that that center crimp tube is up underneath of that bale, right? I'm going to bring it to the side. They're all down where we need them to be. Okay, making sure that that's up underneath that bail real nicely. Okay, I'm gonna just check this, so let's bring this up a little bit. Just spread it out, okay? Now I'll tell you, a lot of people are gun shy when it comes to Koreana chain because of, you know, the tarnish factor of it. And I'll tell you, you do not have to use your Eternal Jewelry Cleaner and go through all of it if it's not stainless, okay? If you, each time you wear it, whenever you take it off, if you take your little cleaning pad, cleaning cloth, and even if you don't have a cleaning cloth, use like a Viva paper towel and just go up both sides of it, okay? Because your body oil especially is going to make that tarnish quicker. Okay, it'll make this last a lot longer. So what I do is my little cleaning cloth, my jewelry cleaning cloth, every time I take off my necklace that's Koreana, I just kind of zip the two sides. And it's good. Definitely lasts longer. So I'm making sure that I have my two ends here and they are good. Okay, I want to make sure that my center stays center and that that little crimp tube is up underneath that bail, making sure that these look nice and even, and they do look even. So I'm going to come down a little bit lower and hold on to it. I'm going to come in here with my pliers. Okay, I'm going to come down, just give it a little squeeze, not a lot, right? You don't want to squeeze it because then it's going to look silly. Just a little squeeze. So what happens then is it holds on to where it needs to be. And you see it's not some horrible looking crimp on there. It's just a little something to keep it in its spot. And isn't that just so cute with those little seed beads on the jump ring? I think that's just super cute. Super cute. So, you know, I wasn't thinking I wanted to really float beads, but now I'm kind of rethinking it. If we floated, even if we just did like a red with the champagne in the middle and the green up here somewhere, that might look cute, you know? And then give the little bit of pop with that little crimp that will be under it and over it. Let me put this on and see where I would want that. Let's see. Okay, so I have my finger about where I would want it. Okay, just before my collarbone, I'm thinking. Okay, so right in this area here. So that would be about, what is that, 4 inches up maybe? Right in here. Let's look. So from the base, it would be right about the 4-inch range. From where our beads end, right about the 3-inch range. Okay. So let's pop on a crimp tube on each side. So this crimp tube is going to be underneath where those start so that they stay floating. Okay. And then from that point, it's up to you if you want to put a crimp tube up top. You know, they can still float up top, but I think for symmetry, I would want to have that. That way we have the little gold pop on the bottom and the top. And also know, I had tested out and it does work. If you wanted to use number 2 crimp tubes and use your magical crimper, totally works on Koreana chain. Totally does. Okay, so let's see. If I'm wanting to come up about, hey, right about where that guy is. Okay, right about where he is. I'm going to leave him right there. Bring this one up just a little bit. First we'll kind of eyeball it and then I'll verify it. Seems like when I measure it, it ends up being, you know, something. Eyeballing is like the key for me when it comes to these. Okay, those look pretty good across from each other. Okay, so I'm going to come in here. Just a little smash, just a little placeholder. Okay, I'm going to make sure our ends are still even. I want to make sure that these guys are even across from each other before I verify that these are even, right? Because that's going to tell me for sure where I'm at. So I'll hold on here. That still looks nice and even across from each other. So come in here, grab him, little squish. Okay, so with them looking here, now let's bring them together. Pretty close, looky there. Pretty close. Okay. All right, so now let's put on some beads. And I do think I would want that little jump ring in between, because that's just cute. It's that little bit of a pop, that little something something that I like so much. Okay, so since the top here started or ended with green, let's go ahead and start it with the red. So we'll do the red. Little jump ring. Do that champagne in the center. Jump ring. Then we'll do that green. So cute. Okay, let's get a couple more crump tubes. Go ahead and bring that down. Let's go ahead and get this other one strung up. Yeah, I think that's good. I'm glad I rethought that, because I was like, no, I just want something at the very bottom. I don't want to. But no, I think this will be real cute. Oh my. He's just dancing around. You see him? So yesterday was Thanksgiving. I hope you all had a fantastic Thanksgiving. I hope you were able to spend some time with family, and if you weren't able to spend time with family, hopefully you were able to connect with them or with friends or with someone, just to have a little something to do, you know. The holidays can be so beautiful and amazing, and for some they can be just kind of sad, and if that's something you deal with, I'm really sorry for that. But we had a good Thanksgiving. Got some family time, some kid time, and today we're going to get some more. So that's exciting. Okay, then we will just do that little crimp here. Looky here. So I'm just going to hold on to it. I'm going to snug that down on those beads. Not too tight, not too tight. Just give it a little smash. This one too. Make sure it's down on those beads. Not pushing too hard towards the beads or anything, and just giving a little smash. Super cute. Okay, so now let's marry these ends. Keep moving a little bit on me. So cute. Those little guys. Then our little friend down here. Isn't he so cute? He's just so cute. All right. So let's make sure that we are still pretty even here, because if we need to trim off, let's bring these together. If we need to trim off one little part or another up here at the top, just to make sure we're super even, we can do that. Okay, so that looks good. These are right up next to each other. I'm going to hold on to them and bring this out. And yeah, we can alter it a little bit. See? That's what makes it so easy and universal with Koreana chain, is you have so many options. And actually, no. See, when I straighten it, they're still fine. They are just fine. Beautiful. Beautiful. So from here, let me make sure I don't want to cut some off for length. Let me come back up. No, it's beautiful. It's perfect. It's just perfect. Just perfect. So I didn't get out a closure, so let me grab a closure. Let's see, actually I have one right up here. Be cute. We can toggle this one. Oh, that's an awful big toggle for a little Koreana chain. Let's not do that. Let's not do that. Oops, sorry. Let's come in here. And I have some stainless steel lobster claws, so let's grab one of those. I'll make it easy peasy. And I have some 4mm that'll connect that. And then let's do this bigger 5mm for the connection. Okay, we'll do that. I have these guys here for the closure, and then I also have some crimp tubes. So we are good. So we're just going to come in. It's as easy as this. We're going to come in, pop on that clamshell connector. And just like with beading wire, it is important that you have a little bit of beading wire that's sticking out the top whenever you do a crimp. But whenever you're working with Koreana chain, it's crucial. It's crucial. There has to be some of that Koreana chain coming out the top. If not, then no matter how good of crimps you're using, no matter how good you have crimped, there is a possibility that it is going to fail. Okay, so with Koreana chain, that's really a big, big key that I've found. And so I want to make sure that some's sticking out of there. Hello, and then he slides. Okay, I want some sticking out of there. I'm going to crimp him really good. Now you don't want to break your chain, but you want that to be a good crimp. And then usually when I'm using Koreana chain, I come into one side, and I come to the very edge, and I do an extra big pinch right at the edge. See how that's going? Just extra security, extra safety. And with some actually pop on a little GS hypo in here when they use it with Koreana chain. Okay, you do you. You can definitely do that. Okay, let's do the other side. And then I come to this edge. And I'm pulling right now. Nothing. We're good. Come up here to the top. Close up that clamshell. And then we're ready to do our little closures here. Easy peasy. Do a smaller one over here with our lobster claw clasp. Nice and closed up. Then we'll use that 5mm jump ring for that clasp closure. And then just like that, necklace 2 is done. And fun and cute and pretty. Love it, love it. Okay, so let's take a little final peek here, shall we? So we have these little guys here. Then down here to our little focal guy. So fun, so fun. So we'll put number 2 down here. Love them, love them. Okay, so for necklace number 3, we are going to pull in the aventurine. Love it. Love it. We're going to use aventurine. We're going to pull in this adorable little charm and pendant. This is going to actually be sitting right on top, like so. Just works out perfect. Now, from my stash, I'm pulling in these two. I think I'm pulling these two in. It was just so perfect because I have these two little aventurine hearts, and I thought they would just potentially be super cool because what I'm wanting to do with this one is I do have some chain out here, but I'm wanting to bring in some leather. Okay, and so this is 1.5 millimeter leather, and I get this from Lima Beads, and it is that deep, deep red color, like the identical red as the beading wire that I used. Okay, and I cut this to 24 inches. Okay, I have this cut a little bit longer because we're going to be making some knots. All right, but for our actual focal for this connection, I need to cut some wire. Okay, so I am going to do a little bit of a wire here, a little wire wrapping that's going to be connected then to our leather. Okay, it's going to be pretty. I think it's going to be super pretty. I'm really excited about it. So let's get out. Do I want... Yeah, I'm going to do that same bronze. Okay, so I got out that same bronze. This is 24 gauge. And again, if we look at that bronze up against this copper, it's like spot on, right? Oh. Now for this, I think, let's just see, because I think I want to incorporate these jump rings with this one as well because it's just going to be really cute. It's going to be really cute. So I'm going to go ahead and put my wire through my hole here, bring this to about center. And when I bring this to about center, I'm going to come to the side. That helps me know where I'm at. It doesn't have to be perfect, not at all. Okay, but I'm just going to bring these two up together. But I don't want it to be too tight. Okay, and the reason why I don't want it to be too tight, first I'm going to straighten these out, is because first I know one of these is going to be connected. Maybe more than one, but I'm going to go ahead and pop on the one that I know is going to be connected here to the front. Okay, so I have this guy on here. And then from there, I think I want to still put on some of those beads. I think I want just a little bit of beading going up both sides. I think I do. I've been back and forth on that, whether I wanted to do that or not, and I think I do. Okay, so let's leave that guy. I do have a couple out, but let's get a little more. Let's get a little bit more. Not that much. We're not going to use all those. I just wanted my options. Just wanted some options. Okay, so let's come in here and I think I'll just do my little series I've been doing. So I'm doing the green, the yellow, the red, the yellow, the green. Okay, so if that was just setting up there, see, isn't that cute? Just that there with that little jump ring hanging down from it. I think that's really cute. Yeah, I'm gonna bring him up a little bit just to make sure I have my section that I'm wanting inside of this. I do, I have it there. Okay, and that jump ring can go up above that first bead or below that first bead. Doesn't matter. Either way, it's gonna be good, right? Super cute. I'm gonna go ahead and do the same to the back. So I'm gonna do that green, that yellow gold, red, that yellow gold, and green. Now I'll tell you, from this point, you could do one of the other beads and feed both sides of the wire through it, right? I don't think I'm going to do that. I don't think so. But I don't know if I want green on both sides, so I might just take one of those off. Yeah, because that's going to be the back anyways. Nope, it needs symmetry. It needs symmetry. So let's just do red. That way it's not just two greens stuck next to each other with the green pendant. That'd be fine too, but nah. Okay, so I have this where I want it to be. Okay, I'm going to hold on to my beads. I'm going to cross these guys, and then I'm going to twist them. Okay, so I'm wanting to really hold on to this because I don't want this to over tighten here at our connection for the focal. Okay, and if there's a little bit of a gap, I'd rather there be a little bit of a gap than to over twist it and overcrowd them. Okay, so I'm going to hold on to them. There we go. And then I'm going to start my twisting. That way you see where my thumbnail is. I'm going to go ahead and twist this all the way up. I want to kick with twisting wire. It's just so pretty, and especially when I'm doing fall designs, I'm looking for that kind of rustic vibe, that rustic feel, and you know, twisted wire really hits that spot for me. I want to keep that V so they're twisting in on each other instead of just one overlapping the other. Oh, that should be plenty. Okay, you see there's a couple little like kinks in the midst of it twisting, just fine, not a biggie at all. I'm not worried about that. Okay, what I'm worried about is making sure that there's still a little movement in this, that I didn't over twist it to where there wouldn't be movement, and it's great. It's great, so I'm happy with that. So let's come up here and trim off. Okay. And then let's do a little wrapped loop. So I'm thinking, which way do I want this wrapped loop to go? I think I want it going this way. Okay, so I'm gonna come up here. I don't want to overcrowd those beads here. Okay, so I'm gonna just stay off of them. Do a little wrapped loop. I think it'll look cool with this twist action happening. So I'm just going to hold on to that. Make sure he's straight. Give a couple wraps. I don't want it to be too much, but just a little something up top above those beads. That way if there is that little bit of a gap, we're not really seeing it. See, there, that is good for me. Cute. Cinch him in just a little bit. I don't want to mar him. I don't want to hurt anything. Just to cinch him in a little bit. Then we'll trim that off in the back. And make sure we take care of any pokies that may be trying to happen. Just be careful of your seed beads. You don't want to break any of them. Okay. And so far, this is what we're looking at here. Cute. Wanted to make sure that that hole was big enough to accommodate our leather, and it's plenty big enough. Really, it's going to be hard to not get one big enough for that, to be honest. So how I want to connect this. So first we have this one here. Okay. We have this one here. So whenever we connect one here, since this one's going this way, this one would go this way. Okay, but I think I might want one hanging down too. So let's see. Let me come in here and see if I can maneuver a 3mm to work. If not, we'll grab out that 4. So let's pop him open. Okay, and then I have 4 on here, so I'm going to pop this out, and I'm going right between those center 2. And that was another reason too why I didn't want to overcrowd this. Okay, so let's come up here this way. Let's let him pop up on his own. There we go. So you have to kind of get him up off of that pendant. And I apologize, this sticks to everything. Come back down here, little fella. Well, I got him to pop up, and then he just went all over the place, wherever he wanted to go. I want that to be around the back side. So let me grab him, move him down. Spread this out a little bit. There we go. Okay. And I'll use my thumb to keep him popped up a little bit if I can. These stick into my pliers, I'm telling you. It's making me crazy. Okay, so back at it. Okay, we have those 4. I want this to come up between these 2. There we go. Okay, so I have that there. Now what I think I'm going to do is, let me grab hold of it with the other side. Hold on to this. I think I want to have one of these down on here. So let's first pop this on. Okay, so let me make sure the way this is going to go. Don't mind me fiddling here. There we go. So I'm going to pop this on, and then I'm going to pop this on over the top because I want this to kind of hang on it. Let's see if we still have room to close and have movement. So let me now grab, I need a different pair that's not magnetized, hopefully. Because it's trying to grab that other jump ring. Okay, let me come down. I'm telling you, whenever your tools become magnetized, it really offers some complications. How about we just do a 4mm jump ring just to be sure? Let's do that. Let's do that. Let's pop him off. So my thing about the 4mm jump ring is why I was thinking 3 is because of the thickness of it and getting through this other little jump ring with the beads on it, you know. But oh, I just love the look of it. So let's see what we can do. Out you go, buddy. There you go. So let's grab the 4. Because this one will be thicker than that 3. But let's see where we're at. So I'm going to be right between that red and yellow. Yep, we're good. Okay, so it's still popped up through there good. Let's put him on. Let's put this on. Let's grab back a hold. I got this, I got this, I know I do. There we go. Now let's close that up. Let's get it up here, and then I want to go back and make sure that we're closed well. Come here. I'm not done yet. Gotta make sure you're good. Oh, that's pretty good. Okay, yeah, that's good. Oh, I do like that. See there with that little something something also hanging down on front? That is cute. That is closed all the way, but it's a little offset. Yeah, it's a little bit offset. that could cause complications later, so let me just fix that. These black handled ones just want to slip on me. There we go, it's a little better. A little work hardened to it. Then we'll also kind of move him around to the back so we don't have that connection showing in the front. Yeah, that is cute. That is oh so cute. Fun. Okay. All right. So from here, let's put that 3 away. Let's move these to the side. Who knows? We may end up bringing them back for something. Okay. So now from there, I have this cut to 24 inches. I'm going to come right through my bail. You'll notice there's a little, you know how it's kind of, you know how leather does. Once we're done with this, I'm just going to let it hang. Okay, you let it hang, that leather will naturally stretch out and it will naturally keep from wanting to do this so much. Okay, so don't worry about this so much right now. All right, and you know what would be cute? Here I am. You know what I could do? You know what I could do? Let's see. Let's just see. And I have 2, so that might be good. Let's try it out. We'll look at it together here. Why, yes, 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 in fact, I do want that to happen. That's really cute. That's really cute. Okay, so let me make sure I'm even up here at the top. Marry my 2 ends. Down and make sure we're even. Now from here, you can do whichever kind of knot you want to do. I'm going to do a little overhand knot. Okay, so I'm going to pinch these together, but I do want there to be a little bit of a gap. Okay, I don't want it to be too close on there, so I'm going to keep my thumb there. Okay, I'm going to pinch these together, and I'm going to do a quick little overhand knot. And then whenever I go to close this, or whenever I go to cinch it down, okay, I'm wanting to make sure that, you know, we're even, we're good. And I'm going to be super easy peasy, lemon squeezy. See how one looked a little bit looser than the other? Okay, you can do that with both of these just to make sure you're nice and even. Okay, and then I'm just going to use my finger, come down. Okay. I can push up from the underneath if I want to, if I want it to go down a little bit more. I just don't want to mar my leather. There we go. I want it to be down just a little bit more. Here we go. I'm trying not to use my fingernail too much. Okay. Now after I pull it down, I'm going to grab one end, one strand, and then the other. And I'm cinching it that way. And you see I wanted that little bit of a gap that's there because it ensures that these guys have their movement. And that is cute. Cute. Okay, and so far, here's what we're looking at. Here's the rest of the necklace coming up. Have our little focal, just cute. Simplistic, easy, right? So what I was thinking from here is if I came in here and gave just a little bit of something something up here. I don't want too much going on, but a little something something would be cute, I think. Okay, so that's when I came into these hearts. And aren't those so cute? I think that would just look so cute, but I want something kind of moving it along or sectioning it out. And I had these in my stash. Look at these little barrel tube beads. They have that little scroll work on them. Just super cute. And so I think though I might want a little gold pop with them. So let me grab my crimp tubes. So what if I did little crimp tube because that will fit on this leather. Okay, and the way it's going to go is, we'll watch. You just go to barely put it in here. First you want to make sure it's, you know, rounded. Sometimes when you cut it, it can elongate it, and maybe not all crimp tubes will go on it, but some will. Some will. So if you just get it on there a little bit. Okay, you don't want it to end up being so tight that it ends up harming the leather as it goes down through there, right? And it shouldn't. It shouldn't. I've done this enough times that it really doesn't. You just want to make sure that your leather is back to rounded and not elongated from your initial cut. Okay, let's try a different crimp tube. Let's go with this guy. Goes. So it's not like it's going to be tight going all the way down or that's going to scratch up your leather, nothing like that. And I'm not even pinching as I'm doing it, I'm just pulling it down. Okay, so we have a little gold pop down on there. Let's come to this one. And if you need to, if it's already got a little bit of a fray to it, to the end of your leather, you can go ahead and give it another clip. Okay, because we're probably not going to be using all of it anyways. We'll use a chunk of it. See, look at that one, it just popped right on in there. Okay, so we have those. It's just cute. And I don't know about these, I'm just trying them. Right? Then another crimp tube kind of on top. That's really cute. Yeah, let's go ahead and put the other one on, and we'll see. I can see that that's just a little bit frayed there at the tip. So I'm going to go ahead and give it a little clip. And I'm just going to give it a little squeeze here to make sure it goes back to round. There he goes. Sometimes you just gotta be patient. It's worth it though, because that little pop is awesome. Okay, so you have those little pops there. I think that looks cute, right? Now let's see what we think here. Oh, I just think that's adorable. Oh, and look at that red coming through it. Yeah. Yes, please. Oh, so cute. So cute. That is so cute. Now the question is, do we want to have a little crimp tube on top of those? Or do we want to just leave it? Do we want a knot on top of those, or do we want to just leave that? You know, let's see. We know we have one side that's a little sillier than the other, so we'll go to the easier side. Slip one on and see what we think. Oh yeah, it definitely needs that little pop. It definitely does. That's cute. Super cute. Okay, yeah, we're going to do that. We're going to do that. So we're going to fiddle with one more crimp tube on one more piece of leather. Let's just give a fresh cut just to be sure we're good. Or just to give us the best advantage. It's one side, I tell ya. It's kind of like that one side of hair when you're trying to fix your hair. That one side just isn't curling like the other side. There he goes. Last one though, last one. There we are. Okay. We got her done. Oh, that's super cute. Super, super cute. I think I do want a little knot on the top of each of those. I think that'll be cute. Okay, so let's do that. Let's do a little overhand knot on each side. So we'll make sure that's down good. Okay. Okay. I'm just kind of rolling it down. I want it close to it. It doesn't have to be directly on top. Oh, I need to go down further than I thought I did. I'm gonna use this just as a holder. I'm not squeezing. No, no, no. So good. Okay, just a little knot. Cute. So cute. Okay. Let's make sure he's all the way down so I know where I'm going this time. So cute. Look at that. Oh, backwards. Look at that. That is just far too cute. Okay, so that is literally all I'm wanting to do. That's all I'm wanting to do. Now let me see on my length. So one sec. Okay, so I'm going to be potentially cutting off about this much. Okay, but before I do, I want to knot before, just because for the look of it really, I want to knot before we cinch it. okay? And so here's about my spot. So I'm going to come down just a little bit more. I'm going to do another overhand knot. Okay, now I want the other one to be in line. I want it to be even. So I'm going to come in here. So now they're side by side. So I'm going to do another overhand knot. And on this one, before I cinch it all the way, I'm going to verify it. So now, before I cinched it, I'm going to come back up through. Close. Okay, now I'll finish cinching this one. Cute, cute. So with these two side by side, come down, and we're just in line. That is good. That is good, good. This one can come down maybe a millimeter. Love it. Love it. Now, I could do one of two things. I could put on some cord ends, and I brought out cord ends. Okay, I can do cord ends, or because I have this little knot here, I can connect with my closure and just do another knot. Okay, and actually for this one, we did cord ends with last time I used leather. So with this one, let's do that knot style. Okay, we'll do that knot style. And so let me get out a closure. Okay, so one sec here. Okay, so this is stainless. So that'll go through there just fine. Okay, or I could connect this to a jump ring and connect the jump ring, right? So let me get a second jump ring. Let's make sure this is closed all the way after we do it. We're just going to directly connect it. Pop him open. Connect here. Good and closed. Make sure what side I'm working with here. Okay. We can pop him on. Okay. Then we can do a knot with him on there. So let's try that. So again, you can do it this way. You can grab your little cord ends. You can use your little cord ends. I'm silly. I was kind of excited about using my cord ends because I just got them all organized. They were still in the packages from Joann's when I had gotten them there. And so I was kind of excited that I had gotten them all organized by tone and all that. And then I'm going to use the knot style. It's okay though. Either way works. And you see with this knot style, it is just fine. You can put a little dot of GS Hypo in there if you want, but not necessarily needed. Okay, put the jump ring on the other side. So come in here and we'll do another knot to include the jump ring. And then I might just leave these little ends. They're cute. You could even have longer ends if you wanted to and put a couple beads on there. Make super cute little long end there. Just like that. Now we have necklace number 3. Now necklace number 4 is going to be super quick, okay, but it's fun. It's fun. So yeah, I might cut those off. But here we are for necklace number 3. And isn't that just so cute? So cute. Oh, that's fun. That's fun. I'm going to put him over here. And then let's get out the stuff and talk about and do necklace number 4. Okay, let's get this stuff out of the way. Oh, hey, little guy. There he is. All right. All right. So I have first some 22 gauge wire. I have 2 of them cut at 3 inches and, well, a little over 3 inches, and one of them cut at 4. Okay. I have them in gold. And then let's bring all this out. I made a little beaded wire out of those seed beads, or a beaded chain out of those seed beads. Right? Okay, so let's separate these out. So I have 2 of these. I have a few of these. I don't think I'm going to need all those. Okay, so I'm using our little 3 millimeters, or little 3-4 millimeters in each of those colors. I love these little baby gemstones. Those facets are incredible on them. Okay, so I'll separate those out. And then I have some of our quartz. Okay, and then these I got from my stash. And I have the bigger ones and the smaller ones. Okay, and then I have some extra of those jump rings that I made. Okay, so I just literally opened these up. So these are 5 millimeter jump rings that I just opened up and put some beads on. And I did the same kind of series. So I did the green, gold, red, gold, green. I have a little spacer balls, a couple spacers balls out as well. Okay, so this is going to be super simple, but it's going to be fun. I'm excited about the simplicity of it, and I'm really excited about this little chain. So what I did was I took in between, I did a 4 millimeter gold, and that's the connection between each of these copper. That's all this is. That's all that is. It was fun. I got to play with my beads for a little bit. It was good. And so I'm just going to do 3 links, okay? One that is our primary, and then 2 little supporting links. And I'm going to take this 22 gauge wire. I'm going to do a little wrapped loop. And when I say little wrapped loop, I'm hoping for like 2 wraps instead of 3, okay, on each of these. So I'm going to do the big focal first. So I'll come in here, get this wrapped loop going. And then I'm going to come in here and just do a couple. Okay, just want 2 on there. Okay, so there's 2 there, 2 there. I didn't want it to be bulky. I wanted it to stay kind of dainty. Cinch this down, make sure he's straight. Spinning on me. Easy peasy. Okay, now what I want to do is for this bigger one, for this focal one, I want to take one of my little 2 millimeter spacer beads in gold. I'm going to pop that on there. Okay, and then I'm going to put this guy on. Just kind of starts that. That's so cute. Okay, so from here, all I'm wanting to do is, I think I want to get a couple bead caps. No, I want to make them small. I want to make them small. So let me get some more 4 millimeter. And then I still have a couple 3s. I have 3 3s. That should be plenty. Okay, and so for these, actually, do I want, yeah, that'll be fine. So I'm going to put on a 4 millimeter jump ring. I'm going to put my jasper on there. Just cute, cute, cute. And then I'm going to bring in, let's get some 4 millimeter jump rings out. that's what I want to be our spacer, is that jump ring. So I'm going to partially put this on. I'm going to find where that little connection is, and I'm just going to smash it. See there? Just going to smash it. That's going to be our spacer here. And then I'm going to put in one of these. And so let's bring out the 3mm. Actually, you know what? I don't think I'm going to bead cap that. I don't think I'm going to. I think I'm just going to use those. Let's see. Let's see. Let's put our little quartz on there. Yeah, that's all I'm doing. Yeah, that's super cute. Let's put another 4mm jump ring on there. And this one came about just from me playing with the seed beads. I love these seed beads. I love the color. And so I was like, ooh, let me just, that'd be cool if it was, you know, made into a chain. And then I made it into a chain and I was like, ooh, I need to do something with this. So let's do a little 4mm on this end. Let's pop one of these guys on. And then let's do a little spacer. That's all I want in this focal strand. That's all I want, but I'm going to bend it just a little bit. Okay. That way he just has a little bit of a curve. Not too much going on. Then I'll do that wrap loop on the other side. I want it to be about even with the other side. In here and just give it a couple wraps. Just 2. Cinch him down good. There's our little focal link. Cute little focal link. Okay, we're going to do 2 supporting links that is essentially the same thing as what that focal is, but on a smaller scale. Okay. Just 2. Wants to roll. Okay. And then instead of these spacer beads, let's use a couple of our crimp tubes. I may have to get another one out. But we'll do a little crimp tube. On there. We'll do a little 3mm just for those ends. Okay, then we're going to do the same thing. So hold on. First, let's do these guys. Okay, same thing, just smaller scale. And then we'll come in here with our 3mm bead cap. Do that little red jasper. We'll pull in 3mm jump rings. So we'll do a little 3mm jump ring. Then we'll do yellow, 3mm jump ring, and the green. Okay, same concept, just smaller scale. Okay, where's that? Here it is. Bead cap at that end, put on our little end guy here, and this will stay straight. So we're Make sure he's good and straight. We're going to do a little wrap loop on the other end. Just a couple wraps. He's turning too. Just cinch him down in. Okay, we'll do one more of those. Isn't that just so cute? That is just gorgeous. I like that a lot. Now, 3mm bead caps. I think I still needed. Yep. Just 2. Okay, deal. Oops, that's not what I'm looking for. Crimp tube, crimp tube, crimp tube, crimp tube. Am I out of those? Okay. Oh. I need 2. Okay, I'll do 3 just in case. Okay, so crimp tube, spacer bead, do that 3mm bead cap, that red jasper, 3mm, pop on that yellow, 3mm, and the green, and then bead cap. Him on. Then we need a little crimp at the end just for that little something something. Let's make sure they're nice and straight. Little wrap loop. Cute, cute, cute. That's all there is to it. Okay, so now, oh, Jasper heard something. Let's bring these up here. Okay, so what I'm looking for is very simple. Very, very simple. I want these here with just regular jump rings. Okay, I think. I think I wanted them with regular jump rings. And then I just wanted these to go up the sides. Okay, and then on the back of the neck we can do a little bit of a different chain. But I had thought about having these also have like one of those incorporated, but I was thinking it would be too much. I didn't try it, but I was thinking it just might be. Actually, I think I might want a little 3mm. Let's do the 3mm. Hey, there's that other crimp tube. Let's do the 3mm between them. That way they're just really cute and in on each other. Okay, so on this one here, I'm gonna start with the red because it ends with the green on this side. I think I want the red to start on both sides, just for symmetry on both sides. Very simple, very dainty, cutesy. Right? Just cute, dainty, dainty, cute. Now let's get this halved. So I'm just holding on to the end jump rings for both of these, bringing it down. We do have an extra guy down here, so that's the one we'll take off. Oh, okay, well those beads wanted to come off anyways. We'll just let them have their little way. Okay. And then we're just connecting these. And then if we need a little bit of dainty copper on that goes around the back of the neck, I'll add a little bit of that chain. But it is just seriously as simple as this. And I'm loving this. This can be layered with any of these other necklaces. It can be layered with one of the other necklace that I had made from this collection. It just super simple. This would be super cute too if you did a triple strand bracelet and this was the third strand. Of course I'm going to say that, but seriously, it would be. Just so fun. And I'm getting done with this just in time because I'm supposed to be off today, but I had someone that needed their training for today. So I'm going to log on and work for a little bit and get an office trained with their software. And then I'll be off for the rest of the day. So then I'll be able to edit this and release this today, which is Saturday. Or no, Friday. It feels like Saturday. Look at this. Isn't that just easy and just cute and simple and just something? I just love it. I just love it. Okay, let me check the length. Okay, very little wire, very little wire. Just a little bit. So let me see here. I want some dainty wire. So let me come in here with this. I'm talking maybe a total of this much. Let's go here just in case. And then let me try it out. This is the same chain that I had used for this connection on the first necklace. Okay. Pop this up here. And then let's get that halfway point. There's not an extra. So both of these two little guys down here are going to get cut off. Yeah, I mean, if I could have just added a few actually. But hey, we're here. We're here. Okay, so for this chain, get it connected. And I'll get out a little closure, just a little dainty one. Him on. Okay, and then let's get a little lobster claw clasp. And we do have just that, a little one. Oh, we only need one. What am I thinking? I was going to grab one of those little jump rings. Oh, we still have some out up here. And we'll close this off. So this was fun. I really have thoroughly enjoyed using this box. And, you know, I still have quite a bit of contents left. So I'm going to continue to play. And see what else hits me, because that's just so fun. That's just so fun. And Danielle Wicks did just a beautiful job with this. I love this color palette. Absolutely love it, love it. And Sam and Rachel and all of them, they just really pulled it out. Really pulled it out. This is just so much fun. So much beauty. So much beauty. And there we go. So necklace number 4. My friends, thank you so much for being here with me today. I love getting to hang out with you. Absolutely love it. I love being able to create with you and be looking. I've got some plans this weekend. I've got some plans, and it involves a lot of time with you. So let's see if that comes through. Here is all of our necklaces. Yay! Yay, yay, yay. Look at these. Then we have this guy over here. That's just so fun, right? So fun. So fun. Yep. So good. So good. Until next time, my friends, I hope your day's fantastic. Bye for now.